What if I told you that every time you say yes when you mean no, you're not being kind, you're actually betraying yourself? And that betrayal? It's the real reason you can't set boundaries without drowning in guilt. I'm about to show you the one shadow work technique that eliminates people-pleasing guilt in a way that feels almost effortless. And if you give me just 5 minutes, you'll understand why boundaries have felt so impossible and how to finally change that. Let me paint you a picture. You're in a relationship and your partner asks you to skip your girls' night again. You feel that familiar knot in your stomach. You want to say no. You need to say no. But instead, you smile and say, "Of course, no problem." And the second you say it, the guilt hits. Not guilt for saying yes, guilt for even thinking about saying no. Here's what's actually happening. You're not afraid of setting boundaries. You're afraid of the part of yourself that wants to set them. And that's your shadow talking. Most advice about boundaries tells you to just say no or put yourself first. But here's why that never works. Boundaries don't fail because you don't know how to set them. They fail because a hidden part of you believes you don't deserve to have them. Let me tell you about Sarah. She's 32, a successful marketing manager. Looks like she has it all together. But every time she falls in love, she becomes a completely different person. She gives up her friends, her hobbies, even her own opinions, all to keep her partner happy. She thought this was love, but really, it was terror. The terror of being abandoned. Sarah tried everything: therapy, self-help books, boundary scripts. Nothing stuck, because she was treating the symptom, not the wound. And here's the wound. Deep down, she believed that having needs made her unlovable. So every time she tried to set a boundary, her shadow would flood her with guilt, shame, and fear. And she'd collapse back into people-pleasing just to make those feelings stop. Here's what nobody tells you about people-pleasing. It's not a personality trait. It's a trauma response. When you were young, you learned that your needs were inconvenient, burdensome, or even dangerous. Maybe your parents were overwhelmed. Maybe you were punished for speaking up. Maybe love felt conditional, like you only mattered when you were good. So you buried the part of yourself that has needs. The part that gets angry. The part that says, "This isn't okay." You pushed it into your shadow. And now, that shadow part is running your relationships from behind the scenes. Every time you try to set a boundary, it screams, "If you do this, they'll leave. You'll be alone. You're being selfish." That's not your intuition. That's your wound. And the guilt you feel? It's not proof that you're doing something wrong. It's proof that you're doing something your shadow was taught to fear. So, how do you actually stop this cycle? How do you set boundaries without the crushing guilt? You do something most people never think to do. You heal the part of you that learned boundaries were dangerous. Here's the exact shadow work technique that changed everything for Sarah and for hundreds of women I've worked with. Step 1. Name the guilt. The next time you feel guilty about setting a boundary, pause. Don't push the guilt away. Instead, ask, what is this guilt trying to protect me from? For Sarah, the guilt was saying, if you say no, he'll think you're difficult. He'll leave. Step 2. Find a younger you. Now ask, how old do I feel right now? Most of the time, that guilt isn't coming from your adult self. It's coming from your inner child, the version of you who learned that having needs wasn't safe. When Sarah asked this question, she realized, I feel 7 years old. I feel like the little girl whose mom would give her the silent treatment whenever she asked for anything. Step 3. Speak the truth to your shadow. This is where the magic happens. You separate the past from the present. Sarah started saying to that 7-year-old part of herself, you're not with mom anymore. You're safe now. And the people who love you, the real you, won't leave just because you have needs. At first, it felt awkward. But the more she did it, the more that guilt started to dissolve. Because here's what was happening. She was reparenting the part of herself that never learned it was safe to take up space. Step 4. Set the boundary from your adult self. Once you've acknowledged your shadow, you can set the boundary from a place of calm, not reactivity. Sarah started saying things like, I'm not available that night, but I'd love to see you this weekend. No over-explaining. No apologies. No collapsing. And here's what shocked her. Her partner didn't leave. He respected her more. Because people don't fall in love with people pleasers. They fall in love with people who know their worth. Within 21 days of practicing this technique, Sarah's entire relationship dynamic shifted. She stopped abandoning herself to feel worthy of love. She started setting boundaries without the guilt spiral. And for the first time in her life, she attracted a partner who actually pursued her consistently. Not because she played games. Not because she became cold or distant. Because she finally stopped betraying herself. And when you stop betraying yourself, you become magnetic. You become the kind of woman who naturally attracts secure, healthy love. The question is, how much longer will you keep abandoning yourself, hoping someone else will finally make you feel worthy? If you're ready to go deeper, if you're tired of losing yourself and you want the complete system for healing your shadow and reclaiming your power in relationships, I've created a 21-day transformation program. It's not just theory. It's the exact step-by-step process that helps Sarah and hundreds of other women stop people-pleasing, set guilt-free boundaries, and attract the love they've always deserved. The link is in the description. Click it now because your future self, the one who finally feels whole, worthy, and unapologetically herself, is waiting for you. Remember, boundaries aren't selfish. They're self-love in action. I'll see you in the next video.